Hello and welcome to This Week in Bitcoin, brought to you by Relay Private. There have been many announcements this week and interesting news, so let's get stuck in right away. And news number one are out of Germany, and it appears that Germany just does not want to hold on to Bitcoin because the German authorities confiscated earlier this year roughly 50,000 Bitcoin from the site movie2k.to. Some of you may know it. I obviously have never heard of this website or never used it, wink, wink. But at the end of the day, these 50K Bitcoin were confiscated. And now it appears, because of this confiscation, we've got the addresses of the German authorities and we've seen the in and out flows, that these authorities have decided to sell 6,500 Bitcoin to two crypto exchanges. One was Kraken, the other one was Bitstamp. And for some weird reason, Germany, although they would have the opportunity to have 50,000 Bitcoin at least from this confiscation on their balance sheet, is just not interested in stacking sats and rather is selling to fiat to actually get a reward. I'm not sure what the reward is, but apparently they want to do this. Mischance by these authorities. But hey, if you're a German pleb and you want to stack some Bitcoin, you're already doing a much better job than your government. And then the second news are a bit more related with central banks and their failure or their lack of responsibility to protect currencies. And that is that there has been a report by the World Gold Council, which is a council existing out of 70 central banks all around the globe. And they've basically made just one of these, quizzes like, hey, how do you see the current state of the world? Bear in mind, these are the people who are actually responsible for inflation. They're responsible for all of the misery we've seen since the money printer has been turned on again, turned off again, and then these weird interest rate decisions. But nevertheless, they asked them in times of crisis, what do you do to protect your country or as a whole, the economy? And central banks always stuck to actually accumulating gold and holding it as an inflation hedge and as a protection against potential downsides. And out of this study, 80% of these 70 central banks have said that they see the gold price continue to rally and that they want to use these chances to stack some gold, I guess. So 29% out of these 70 banks said that they will most likely buy and hold onto gold in the near future because, gold is an inflation hedge and they're responsible for the inflation. So it's kind of a weird play. They're actually saving their assets because they've done a bad job with gold. Okay, how's this interesting for us Bitcoiners? If you actually look at the time span, all of these central banks have been stacking gold massively, and we'll insert the graph here. You do end up realizing, well, hang on a minute. If you've done the same thing with Bitcoin, not only would you have protected your currency or the job you should be doing much, much better, but you would actually also have a reserve asset on your balance sheet that is much, much more robust in times of crisis. Just think about if you want to transport tons of gold all around the globe or from one location to the other, you need so much logistic and infrastructure and safety measures so no one is stealing that gold. And with Bitcoin, it's literally just sending a transaction and making sure that how these Bitcoins are being held as a reserve asset is as secure as possible. So if any central banker is listening, maybe consider Bitcoin instead of gold and see where that takes you, because I can guarantee you, you'll be doing a much better job if you actually protect your currency this way instead of, what we've been doing recently. And then the last news are for all of the Bitcoin whales out there, because in a recent graph, I'll also insert it here now, we've seen that for the past 2 years, whales have stopped accumulating Bitcoin very aggressively. So 16th of June, the graph just dropped. This is also related to all of these, bankruptcies like Celsius and BlockFi and FTX and whoever's been involved in those weird 18 months there. But ever since, especially in the last 12 months, whales have been stacking crazily. And they define whales in this picture with 10 Bitcoin or more in the wallet. And if you actually consider looking over the whole price movement the past 5 years, every time these whales have started picking up aggressive accumulation patterns, this has eventually then led also into major bull runs, or just on a more general note, into bull markets. So are they preparing for the next bull market? Who knows? If you are a whale, comment below. But if you are a shrimp or you're just a regular pleb holding onto your Bitcoin via DCA stack, You don't have to worry about anything. There is still plenty of opportunity out there. And if you need a good, reliable service to do so, you may want to check out a certain app we're always working on this channel. And with that, we're at the end of this week in Bitcoin. You know the drill. If you got questions, feedback, or just want to say hello, leave a comment below. And I look forward to seeing you next week again.